Superbrands is the world's most significant marketing award given to companies in 86 countries for building outstanding brand equity. A two-stage selection process involves scoring by thousands of consumers and an independent council of eminent personalities from various sectors. Over 135 companies in India use the Superbrand seal to display their superior status. Superbrands now join hands with ET Now to bring you behind-the-scenes stories of some of India's most powerful brands.
They have transformed numerous lives and India's image in the global arena. They have constantly innovated to set new benchmarks of business excellence. They have witnessed trial by fire and shown tremendous conviction. They are India's super brands. Hello and welcome to the Superbrands show only on ET Now. Through this series, we'll travel across India to discover and explore some of the most arduous yet exciting journeys that India's most respected brands have undertaken to reach to the top. On the show this week, the pioneer of direct selling in India, a company that popularized revolutionary products like the vacuum cleaner and the water purifier in Indian homes. And a 3-decade-old brand that combined romance with fashion to become a household name for trendy woolen wear in India. So let's get started right away. Our first story is of a pioneer of large-scale direct door-to-door selling. This company set up an army of salesmen that went out to each urban Indian home, explaining and demonstrating never-seen-before products like the vacuum cleaner and the water purifier. With a presence in over 1,500 towns and cities of India today and over 10 million satisfied customers, Eureka Forbes has written its success story with a simple formula of educating consumers about its innovative products. Here's how it became a super brand. Shopping mostly involves walking into a store, browsing through various products, and making a purchase. Even online shopping experiences are designed to cater to this very traditional consumer behavior. But in the 1980s, Eureka Forbes was ready to gamble with a less popular approach: direct door-to-door selling. No one had ever tried this on such a large scale, and the product it wanted to introduce in the Indian market was just as revolutionary. Vacuum cleaners were making their way in homes across Europe and America as early as the 1950s, and for good reason. These homes had carpeted floors and required hours of work to keep the house clean. The vacuum cleaner seemed like a natural fit and made cleaning seem less of a chore. India, however, was a different story. The age-old practice of Chadu Pocha had reigned supreme, and one could easily hire manual labor to do the cleaning. Introducing the vacuum cleaner in India seemed entirely pointless.
As a matter of fact, one of the renowned research agency, a market research agency, did a study on the potential market for vacuum cleaners. They said it's a no-go situation and this product will never ever succeed in India.
The evidence seemed to point in the opposite direction, but the chairman of Eureka Forbes was convinced that the time for the vacuum cleaner in India had finally arrived.
This will be a product for the future, and we would like India to change in terms of the cleanliness and hygiene. And that's how we got into it, and subsequently there was no looking back. We grew and grew and grew.
Eureka Forbes understood that people were not about to buy the product if it was just propped up on store shelves. Nobody had ever heard of the vacuum cleaner or seen it in action. Hence, a live product demonstration and educating customers on the benefits of this device seemed essential, and direct selling seemed to be the perfect solution.
One would take an appointment for late evening, one would take an appointment for a Sunday or a weekend and go and demonstrate to them why the product was needed. In those days, 3,500 rupees was a lot of money for somebody to pay. A broom was available at 3 rupees 50 paisa, right? Domestic help was available at maybe 200 rupees a month. And in a market like that, in a category like that, to create the need for a product, you had to do it in the sanctity of somebody's home. and demonstrate it to them, create the pressure.
To create that pressure, they needed someone who was well-groomed, trained in making a good pitch, and driven enough to make the sale. And thus, the Eurochamp was born.
What you need to give them is the skill. So when you marry your skill with the attitude, you get a Eurochamp. That's what we look for in a Eurochamp. We just look for that basic innate hunger to succeed.
In a matter of months, Eureka Forbes had managed to set up a small army of door-to-door salesmen. This team met with the sales head every morning, who would assign each of them respective territories. Charged up on masala chai and driven by the incentive of meeting their daily targets, the Eurochamps were on their way to kick off the biggest direct selling campaign ever undertaken by an Indian company.
We were not used to direct sales, and those days direct sales was more restricted to small household appliances and agarbattis and things like that. There was never a durable which was sold on a direct sales basis.
Imagine a stranger coming into your home to sell a contraption that you've never heard of, made by a brand that has no name in the market. The odds were stacked against Eureka Forbes in every way. But here, the man demonstrating the product was polite, well-trained, and knew how to hold the customer's attention. And even though the EuroClean vacuum cleaner was an entirely new concept, it had people mesmerized with its dirt-sucking power.
We try to play on the emotions of people, take out dust from places like sofa where you sit and watch your TV, take out dust from pillows, take out dust from mattresses, which presumably everybody feels it's clean and my house is well kept. So that demo, that sort of an impression, that sort of emotive approach did help.
The Eureka Forbes uncle came and showed us EuroClean.
The success of EuroClean laid to rest any doubts about the vacuum cleaner having a place in the Indian home.
EuroClean!
Even today we are thinking about that word success, because if you don't keep putting your next challenge forward, you're never gonna take it forward. So direct sales is about setting the next move, the next challenge.
The company now wanted to rise to the challenge of providing clean drinking water. At the time, people across the country were still using age-old practices like boiling. But even water boiled for over 20 minutes was bubbling with viruses and other impurities.
What looks like a pure, clear, safe glass of drinking water is not pure and clear and safe. It is filled with impurities that you cannot see or are naked to the eye.
Mamam?
Shanta, do you boil your drinking water?
No, we use AquaGuard.
Eureka Forbes was about to introduce a product that was going to take the nation by storm, the AquaGuard. The market for such a device was huge, and it was again the Eurochamps who were going to make it the company's most successful product ever. As essential as the AquaGuard has become for every Indian household today, there was a time when the company had come really close to pulling it out of the market.
Water was a challenge. There was a point when the business was about to shut down, and the board had directed the organization to shut the product down. Mr. Goklani, who's the managing director, asked for 1 year from the board and says, "Give me 1 year, and I will turn this into a category that you will be proud of." The rest is history.
Safe drinking water was an undisputable necessity that put AquaGuard on the list of essential products for every household.
In the year 1992, we sold 10,000 water purifiers in a month. That was the time when we said, okay, we have cracked the problem, we are in the game, and now we have to grow.
Eureka Forbes products had also managed to get people thinking more about their health, hygiene, and the value of a clean environment. And it wasn't long before others too wanted to capitalize on this new market.
Typically, a direct sales organization need not advertise, because your best advertisement is your people on the field who go and visit customers. That was the period when actually one was the competition coming in. Second was also in terms of getting door entries was slowly becoming difficult.
There was only one way to get around that problem: by bringing the Eurochamp to the television screen.
AquaGuard eliminates harmful bacteria and viruses and ensures clear, safe drinking water instantly. Give your family a gift of health.
यूरेका फोर्ब्स से
As a consequence of these television commercials, the demand for the company's products shot up even further and consumers were starting to seek them out in stores.
ई-बॉइलिंग वाला एक्वागार्ड है।
इससे क्या होगा?
उससे पानी पूरा सुरक्षित होगा।
उससे क्या होगा?
सुरक्षित पानी से रोहन बनेगा strong and smart.
We've done the task of educating the consumer, and having educated that consumer now feels the need to go out and buy a water purifier. And if you're not present in the retail channel, it would be a cardinal mistake.
The brand was also going beyond the Indian home and making its way to industry and the workplace.
Entering the industrial market was a challenge. As long as the production is running, able to meet your annual targets, you're fine. That's the typical philosophy those days. So it was a challenge to convince them the need for getting into cleaning in terms of water and this. The way we did primarily was showing them how much of productivity they lost in terms of absenteeism due to health, how much of people's attrition was there because of health and related reasons.
Eureka Forbes has over the years become one of the biggest direct sales success stories in the world. Today, with its family of over 8,000 Eurochamps, its reach and relationship with the Indian consumer is the envy of every competitor. The expansion of its product portfolio into fire safety equipment, air purifiers and security systems ties in neatly with the brand's philosophy and ideology.
They haven't run short of product ideas or launches by having that focus, but they have gained by having a much deeper insight into consumers, the terrain itself, and the technologies by having this focus. And that always helps a brand.
There was a risk in every decision that the company undertook, be it products or the way it reached out to its consumers. Eureka Forbes chose to forego the tried and tested for the innovative and revolutionary. And that's how its customers have also come to identify the brand, all 10 million of them. And as Eureka Forbes continues to move forward with the same conviction, this number is only bound to grow. So that was Eureka Forbes promoting healthy, safe and pollution-free living. In fact, the company has harvested over 600 million litres of rainwater till date. So while you chew on that fact, we'll take a short break on the show. Coming up on the other side, a premium apparel brand that combined the entrepreneurship of Punjab with the magical romance of France. You're watching the Super Brands show only on ET Now. Welcome back to the Super Brands show only on ET Now. On this series, we explore some of the lesser known facets of some of India's most popular brands. Up next, we have the story of a super brand whose tagline is perhaps etched in your memory for many years now. This one offered exotic locations through its advertisements and used romance to connect emotionally with its consumers and sell them high-quality woolen products. Today, Monte Carlo has moved beyond just woolens, but it's still synonymous with fashion and elegance. Take a look. Fashion, a mode of expression that has a personal connotation for each of us. A way of life for some, an indulgence for others. From personal style to universal trends, under the glare of the fashion spotlight, many fads come and go. But one super brand that has endured the test of time with its classic elegance is Monte Carlo.
Monte Carlo is a city in the south of France, which is known for fashion, and people from all over the world, they come there for their lavish lifestyles, and all our campaigns, they are shot in exotic locations like Switzerland, Sweden, Venice. I think the imagery of the brand, when it comes to the consumer's mind, it looks like that it matches the international standards as far as fashion and designing is concerned, and also definitely quality is concerned, but at Indian prices.
With origins in the vast empire of the Oswal woolen mills at Ludhiana, Monte Carlo was positioned as a classy global brand right from the very beginning. In a largely unorganized sector way back in 1984, Jawaharlal Oswal, with a visionary zeal, introduced a brand with a distinct identity. Coupled with an excellent product, Monte Carlo distinguished itself from the milieu of Ludhiana textile and wool mills. And with this new entrant, a revolution started brewing up in the way the Indian consumer viewed apparel.
It was very well accepted from the people because people were exploring fashions and they were traveling, so the avenues of different fashion brands, that was already in their minds. So something coming from a domestic market and a domestic brand, it was accepted.
Fashion makes the world go round, or is it love? To really leverage emotional connect and catch the fancy of a new audience, Monte Carlo successfully wed the euphoria of fashion with the warm, fuzzy feeling of romance. Launching a national television advertisement unlike anything seen before did the trick and perfectly captured the mood. Today, Monte Carlo is synonymous with visions of amorous exotic adventures, and many of its campaigns are reminiscent of a vintage era in Indian advertising.
The famous campaign I remember is when it was shot in Venice, because that brought a sense of fashion, aspiration, and a feel that they are about to buy an international brand. And if you remember the very first commercial, it was shot with Nasir Abdullah at that point of time. And the vision of saxophone, the song playing in the background, that went down very well, and people do remember that commercial till now.
There was a lot of word of mouth around this new ready-made wear. But another key aspect was their national television advertising, which focused on a particular theme which is there even today. How do you make one feel when you wear not just something to keep you warm, but something which is about style, elan, about connecting with each other, the romance of both fashion and relationships.
Needless to say, the faces in the commercials were not just actors depicting a slice of life, but glamorous high fashion models who accentuated the element of fantasy and ambition.
Monte Carlo has been a stepping stone for launching many models and actors of caliber. We have worked with Arjun Rampal, Mark Robinson, Lisa Ray, and Rajneesh Duggal, Vipasha Agarwal. They have worked for us, and they have brought the element of romance and aspirational value to the brand.
If Monte Carlo has been associated with a refined charm over the years, a lot of it has to do with its one consistent tagline.
It's the way you make me feel.
The way you make me feel. It's a brand message that beautifully sums up the feel of a Monte Carlo product and the proud, cozy feeling of owning one. It has stuck with the company for the last 3 decades and embodies an understated message for an assured customer.
When you talk about the product, pick any product from Monte Carlo and just feel it. Why we name it a tagline is it's the way you make me feel. So you I have been one and one with a lot of people around, and they say like it's very romantic to touch this. You hug somebody with a good product of Monte Carlo, you feel very cozy about it. I have seen people asking, this is a Monte Carlo, oh, are you wearing a Monte Carlo? So it's like it's almost like a privilege wearing a Monte Carlo.
Monte Carlo was able to build equity for itself in terms of being a fashion label. And that is where most of the international brands are competing. The other is that their product is really very robust and caters to the Indian values of being comfortable, durable, and that's also something that Monte Carlo has leveraged to its advantage.
To build brand loyalty was only one part of the test. But promotions and a competitive price point alone cannot lead to brand success. What makes Monte Carlo products special is the company's constant endeavor to stay with the times, both in design and technology. Backed by the latest international style trends and executed to perfection at state-of-the-art production units, Monte Carlo has been at the forefront when it comes to introducing path-breaking concepts in Indian apparel.
I think innovation is the key for any industry or any brand to succeed in the market. We have been very strong in R&D activities. We were the first in India to introduce whole garment, which is a seamless garment, and we were the first to introduce Total Easy Care t-shirts or Total Easy Care sweaters, where you can wash that garment in house, in home.
Monte Carlo has a daily consumer interface across a robust network of 1,700 touchpoints across different channels of modern retail. The reach is growing steadily with 3 recently opened stores in the UAE. Besides brick and mortar presence, it has also entered the up-and-coming arena of e-commerce. So when this powerful brand with its striking imagery meets potential buyers in the marketplace, what does it make them feel?
Elegant and trendy, warm, fresh. When I hear the word Monte Carlo, I start feeling warm.
International feel, comfort and style.
Romantic, exotic and comfortable.
A stylish brand. Pure wool sweaters.
One common theme was emerging for Monte Carlo that was both an advantage and a barrier for the company. Its singular identity as a woolen wear player. It now set its sights on the next logical escalation. In 2002, not only did Monte Carlo enter the summer wear market, it did so with a lot of fanfare that's characteristic of the brand.
That was a turning point because we were known as a winter wear brand from such a long time, so people just know us Monte Carlo as a winter wear brand. So when we started summer wear, we started expanding. We were presently only north at that time. So after introducing summers, we went to south, we went to west, we went to east, and as we started expanding, the revenue also kept on growing.
We started this concept of fashion shows for the common man, wherein we were doing street fashion shows. We have done about 20 such fashion shows. When we did our first show at Sector 17 Chandigarh, with no invitation, no advertisement, we had an audience of about 85,000 people.
We were trying to reposition ourselves as purely from a woolen brand to an all-season apparel brand. So the reason for doing fashion shows was to make the people aware of the collection, the kind of clothing we do, that it is not only woolens, but we have an entire summer range also with us.
Changing times bring new demographics into play. Keeping pace with growing demands, Monte Carlo has launched several exclusive collections over the years. From the bold Alpha range for women to the playful Tweens collection aimed at children, the brand has of late seen a demographic shift from its sophisticated vibe thus far.
We have been doing and maintaining the elegant product line, no doubt about that, but keeping the demands of modern Indian educated Indian now, the youth also. So we have specifically designed that collection for them because we want to touch and target them also. The latest campaign which comes to my mind is the launch of the Tweens Monte Carlo campaign. And the idea behind was to entice the kids belonging to the age group of 8 to 14 years to come outdoors and play.
I believe ageless brands align themselves to a need which does not change. But if one looks at the Indian market and other emerging markets, the youth demography is the source of the greatest penetration opportunities.
In parallel, Monte Carlo has opened up promotion channels to include new age marketing tools to connect with the end user on a one-to-one basis. Be it steadily building social media presence or associations with trend-setting movies, Monte Carlo is in with a fresh mix to appeal to its target consumer. A towering entity in the Indian apparel space, Monte Carlo has not been known just for its vast quantities and world-class quality. This super brand ushered in an era of unbridled glamour far ahead of its time and offered the Indian consumer a slice of exotic fashion. With its nimble moves and uninhibited passion, Monte Carlo has won the hearts of many and continues to do so. Well, so that was the inspiring journey of Monte Carlo, a brand that has moved with the times to offer international styling at affordable prices. We'll be back next week with 2 more super brands of India and the stories of their ambition, perseverance and business excellence. So do join us again. Till then, goodbye.